Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are back again with another topic from Indian polity itself. So the topic that we have covered today or we are going to talk about in detail, that is interstate relations. We have already covered the center state relations, and today we are going to cover interstate relations, and we will know what Indian polity has to say about interstate relations. So this is the preliminary para or the introductory para. So let's get to know about it. The successful functioning of the Indian federal system depends not only on the harmonious relation and flows of cooperation between the center and the state, but also between the interstate. Hence, the Constitution makes the following provisions with regard to interstate committee. So till now, the topic we have covered, from that we get to know what type of constitution our India has and what type of government our India have, whether it's federal system, whether we have a unitary system, whether we are quasi-federal in nature. So these all I have already answered in our video itself. So yeah, this paragraph talks about it. In order to keep the system federal, the relation between center and state and between the states needs to be in a balanced manner. So there are some reasons that have been mentioned here on what basis the disputes may occur, that is adjudication of interstate water disputes, coordination through interstate council, mutual recognition of public acts, records and judicial proceedings, freedom of interstate trade, commerce and intercourse. In addition, the Zonal Council have been established by the Parliament to promote interstate cooperation and coordination. So if there is dispute, so we have to solve the dispute. In order to solve the dispute, the Zonal Council has been established by the Parliament so the dispute can be resolved. Interstate water disputes. So let's talk about water relating disputes, which given in Article 262 of the Constitution. Provides for the adjudication of interstate water dispute. It makes two provisions. So Article 262 talks about basically two provisions. Parliament may by law provide for adjudication of any dispute of complaint with respect to the use, distribution and control waters of any interstate river and river valley. So this basically talks about or gives Parliament the power that it can create such provision to uh, you know tackle with the dispute relating matter which may arise due to water related. Parliament may also provide that neither the Supreme Court nor any other court is to exercise jurisdiction in respect of any such dispute or complaint. So this is basically the exact provision from Article 262 of the Constitution. So now let's move towards so these are the name of the disputes that have been happened on basis of the river, and these are the states that the disputes has been occurred. Krishnavatar disputes was happened between Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. So the tribunal has been established in order to settle the disputes. So all the list has been mentioned here and the dates and in between what states disputes were ongoing. So you can write them down. Then we have interstate councils. Article 263. So 262 talks about the power of the parliament that they can create laws to solve the disputes arising between states regarding water. Now we'll be moving towards Article 263. Article 263 contemplates the establishment of an interstate council to effect coordination between the states and between central and states. So Article 260 talks about establishing interstate councils in order to resolve disputes may occur between center state or states. Thus, the President can establish such a council if at any time it appears to him that the public interest will be served by its establishment. So who can do so? The President can establish. He can define the nature of the duties performed by such a council and its organization and produce. So all the duties have been vested upon the President only, and he can do so if he feels that uh, that would be a beneficial work for the public in general. Even though the President is empowered to define the duties of the State Council, Article 263 specifies the duties that can be assigned to it in the following manner. So these are the duties that have been given here. So till now we have covered what Article 262 talks about and what Article 263 talks about. One gives power to Parliament, and another says that why interstate council should be established, who can do so, what are the duties should be vested upon. Now let's move towards establishment of interstate council. So this basically talks about the need of the interstate council and who are the person can run the council. The Sarkaria Commission. So it is very important commission we have. I suggest or I hope that you all have heard about what Sarkaria Commission is. If not, go and check that out. Because if you are reading Constitution or any part of the Indian Constitution, this very commission will come again and again and will pop up in almost all of the subjects. The Sarkaria Commission on Interstate Relations 1983-88 made a strong case for the establishment of permanent interstate council under Article 260 of the Constitution because Article 260 talks about the establishment of the council. It recommended that in order to differentiate the interstate council from other bodies established under the same article, it must be called as the intergovernment council. So this is the recommendation from Sarkaria Commission. Uh, In pursuance of the above recommendation of the Sarkar Commission, the Janata Dal government, headed by VP Singh, established by the Interstate Council in 19th consists of the following members. So these are the composition of the Interstate Council. Who are the members? Who can be a part of it? So all these things has been mentioned here, and what are the topic on what basis Interstate Council can be made upon? What are the problem they should look upon? So all this has been mentioned under this council, and all this power has been is coming from Article 260 of the Constitution itself. So let's move towards public acts, records, and judicial proceedings, which we have seen in the preliminary part itself. Under the Constitution, the jurisdiction of each state is confined to its own territory. It is, we all know. Hence, it is possible that the acts and records of one state may not be recognized in another state through what is happening in my state that may not happen in another state, or whatever uh, thing we are doing here that may not be happening in the other state. So there is possibility that we don't recognize the differentiation that is happening in the other state. To remove in such difficulty, the Constitution contains the full faith and credit clause which lays down the following. So from that point, this provision has been mentioned or given. Then we have interstate trade and commerce, which is from Article 301 to 307 in Part 13 of the Constitution, which talks about trade, commerce, and intercourse, who can do the trade, what would be the business procedure, what would be the standard procedures. All this has been mentioned under Article 301 to 307, but it is not absolute. It has some restriction on what basis the states can do business, on what basis the states can courier the things in other states and in out of the states. All this mentioned from Article 301 to 307. Then we have zonal council. The zonal council is statutory bodies because exactly the constitution doesn't mention about any council. It talks about there should be the establishment of certain council in order to solve the disputes. So there come from the zonal council. They are established by an act of the parliament, that is States Reorganization Act of 1956. So this is a very important point. You can write it down or you can highlight it in your book itself. The act divided the country into 5 zones. So this under this act, the country has been divided into 5 zones, that is northern, central, eastern, western, and southern, and provided a general council for each zone. While forming these zones, several factors have been taken into account, which include the natural division of the country, the river systems and means of communication, the cultural and linguistic affinity, and the requirement of economic development, security, and order. So, while making such division, all these points has been in mind of the members of the council while doing so. Besides, the following persons can be associated with the council of as advisors. So these are the composition of general council. Who can be the part of the general council? So these are the last paragraph itself. Are the objective of general council. It is to achieve an emotional integration of the country, to help in arresting the growth of equate state consciousness, regionalism, linguism, and particularistic traits. So while writing down notes on general council, you can write from what constitutional, from what article this council has been made, what are its composition, what are its aim, what are its objective. So all these you can separately write that down. That would be more discipline in nature. So yeah, Northeast Council, in addition to above Zonal Council, is a Northeastern Council created by a separate act of Parliament. So this has been created by a separate act from of Parliament. The Northeast Council Act of 1971. So this is the name of the act. Its members include Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Sikkim, with the seven sisters. Its function is similar to those of the zonal council. So function and objective would be similar to the zonal council itself, but it gets created by another act of the parliament. But with few additions, it has to formulate a unified coordinated regional plan covering matters of common importance. It has to review from time to time the measures taken by the member state for the maintenance of security and public order in the region. So that's all about Northeastern Council, which has been created separately. Then we have zonal councils at a glance. So here the name of the councils, its members, and where its headquarters is situated. So all this list has been mentioned here. Then we have relating to interstate relation. What are the articles that we have in our constitution? That is Article 262 and 263. Then we have from Article 301 to 307, which talks about trade, commerce. So all this includes or fall under interstate council, the zonal council, northeastern council. So yeah, all the list has been mentioned in Indian polity itself. You can just see it by your own. I can highlight. So that's all for today. Today we have covered the center's interstate relation. Soon we'll be meeting with another such videos. If you found this video valuable, to share, like, and subscribe. Soon we'll be meeting with another video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.